Hello there. We're in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and we are going to Harvard University today. I am receiving the W.E.B. Du Bois Medal. Here we go. I do a lot of public speaking, but I haven't given a speech in a while, and I put like a lot of pressure on myself when I have speeches, and I have talking points. I didn't write out the speech, and I was writing things out, and I was just like, I kind of need to speak from the heart. Do you guys know who W.E.B. Du Bois is? W.E.B. Du Bois is the first African American to get a PhD from Harvard University, is the co-founder of the NAACP, author of so many amazing books. If you want to know a little bit more about Dr. E.B. Du Bois, you should listen to my podcast with Dr. Cornel West. We have an extended section, maybe I'll post that, from the podcast where West talks about Du Bois's 4 questions, which are, I'm not going to tell you what they are. You should listen to the Laverne Cox show to hear more about Du Bois's 4 questions, which are amazing, and Dr. West talks about them in such a beautiful way.
Today, it is my extraordinary honor to present the W.E.B. Du Bois Medal to Laverne Cox.
I'm deeply overwhelmed by this moment for so many reasons. And I have so much to say, and there's so much on my mind. But I want to say this. Language is also a place of struggle. I was just a young girl coming slowly into womanhood when I read Adrienne Rich's words. This is the oppressor's language, yet I needed to talk to you. This language that allowed me to get a graduate degree, to write a dissertation, to speak in interviews has the scent of oppression. Language is also a place of struggle. We are wedded in language, have our being in words. Language is also a place of struggle. Dare I speak to oppressed and oppressor in the same voice? Dare I speak to you in a language that moves beyond the boundaries of domination? Language is also a place of struggle. The oppressed struggle in language to recover ourselves, to reconcile, to reunite, to renew. Our words are not without meaning. They are an action, a resistance. Language is also a place of struggle. Bell Hooks wrote those powerful words in her book, Yearning, Race, Gender, and Cultural Politics, over 30 years ago, and we lost Bell Hooks last December. And still devastated by it, and it was really important for me, and in this moment, to bring her words, to bring her work into this space. She was a scholar who was unprecedented in her courage to speak truth to power. I discovered her work. Oh, girl. When I discovered Bell Hooks' work in college over 30 years ago, it changed my life. I came to critical consciousness reading her words, and I know that I would not be the person I am today if it weren't for her work and so many elements of what she speaks about and writes about many years before the brilliant Kimberly Crenshaw gave us the term intersectionality. Shout out to Black feminists. Years before Kimberly Crenshaw gave us the term intersectionality, Bell Hooks gave us the phrase imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy to denote the interlocking systems of oppression that we exist under. I like to add to that cis-normative, heteronormative, imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy. And Belle was so committed to, for herself, always critically interrogating the way in which she entered cis-normative, heteronormative, imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy. She was aware that she, and that all of us, have the capacity to become oppressors. One of my favorite things that Belle said is that we do not need men for patriarchy. Oh yes. Each and every one of us has the capacity to be oppressors, and she always encouraged us to think critically and to always live in the space of self-interrogation around ways in which we can become oppressors, and she was a love warrior. Belle said, "There can be no justice without love." And as we heard earlier, Dr. Cornel West reminds us that justice is what love looks like in public. Just like tenderness is what love feels like in private. And I always like to remind people of that because I believe in these troubling times that we exist in. I think that, like, what would it look like if our public policies began to reflect that really and truly? In 2015, Bell Hooks opened the Bell Hooks Institute in Berea, Kentucky, and she invited me to be the first guest at the Bell Hooks Institute. And there were many people in her life who said that they could not attend that opening of her institute because I would be there, and that Laverne Cox is an abomination. And Bell Hooks had me at the opening of her institute anyway. And that moment was a reminder for her and for all of us that when we stand for justice, sometimes we have to let go of people, places, and things in our lives that do not serve us standing. That do not serve us standing in solidarity with each other across difference. Brené Brown says about love that we cultivate love when we allow our most vulnerable and authentic selves to be deeply seen and known, and honor the offering of that connection with trust, respect, kindness, and affection. Love is not something we give or get. It's something we nurture and grow. We can only love others as much as we love ourselves. Shame, blame, disrespect, betrayal, and the withholding of affection damage the roots from which love grows. Love can only survive these injuries when they're acknowledged, healed, and rare. Think about all of those elements of love that Brené talks about, not just for our interpersonal lives, but for our public lives, for our workplace cultures, our corporate cultures, our politics. Trust, respect, kindness, and affection. Not something we give or get, something we nurture and grow. It's a practice. Love is something we cultivate and practice. And in the face of so many hardships, we're here in Massachusetts, and earlier this year, the Boston Children's Hospital got bomb threats. Bomb threats for providing gender-affirming care for trans children. Trans youth are under attack in state legislatures all over the country. I'm sorry, I gotta say all this. This year alone, over 250 pieces of anti-LGBTQ legislation has been introduced in state legislatures all over the country. Many of those bills signed into law, affecting the ability of trans girls to play in school sports and the ability of trans youth to access gender-affirming health care. We should be reminded that all of our access to health care is threatened. I would not be here, the woman that I am today, if I did not have bodily autonomy, the access over what I get to do with my body when I get to do it. Every time you hear the misinformation that puberty blockers are dangerous, tell people, let them know that puberty blockers have existed for over 40 years, over 4 decades. And initially, puberty blockers were prescribed to non-transgender children for precocious puberties and were found to be safe. If these puberty blockers are safe for non-trans youth, They should be safe for trans youth. It's misinformation, it's propaganda, and it is threatening the lives and the existence of trans kids all over this country. We have to push back against that, and we have to do it with love. Thank you so much, Harvard. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. We're at the dinner after the award ceremony for the W.E.B. Du Bois medal recipients. I'm really overwhelmed and just so grateful to be honored in this way. Professor Bernstein was just so beautiful. It was just a beautiful evening, and I'm so honored that I got to evoke Bell Hooks' words, her work, and bring it into this space. I love being Black. I love being African American so much. There's such a beautiful, rich history. There's such incredible shoulders that I get to stand on as an African American, and W.E.B. Du Bois is exemplary of that. And it's just an honor as a Black person, as a Black trans person, to be honored in this way. To get to speak the little truth to power from the stage. That was nice. It was lovely. I feel good. I'm exhausted, but I'm really grateful. Anyway, thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay in the love.